Trash Cinema 101.
Oh, there I am. Hello, everyone. Welcome, Internet. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. Um, so, uh, Everyone in the chat room, let's do some, basic housekeeping. Do I sound good? Are my levels okay? Am I coming up weird? Let me know in the chat room right now. So, um, I'm gonna go ahead and get started in case people are not. What's going on? Yay! Awesome. Cool. So yeah, let me know how it's working. I'm going to be watching the chat room here on my phone. I also have my friend slash assistant Wayne here, making things look awesome. Everybody, say hi, Wayne.
Hi.
And then randomly you might hear my cat or my roommate's cat, so they may be playing a part. So tonight's film is Night of the Living Dead. I did a live screening of this a long time ago. I'm personally obsessed with it. It comes from 1968, done by the famous George Romero. This film was the first secular zombie film, in that it was the first time that they ever did a zombie film where there had nothing to do with religion or someone posing that it was religion, all these stories about people in the islands or people that were drugged by a witch doctor, quote unquote. It's a lot of fun. This one really charted out that course for all these different secular zombie films, everything from 28 Days Later, Walking Dead, Returning of the Living Dead, all these other ones. But a few things. One, you'll notice that the zombies in this one are shambling and slow. In fact, when I went to go meet George Romero at Dragon Con about, gosh, it was almost like 15 now years ago, 10, 15 years ago, at minimum, he had little buttons made up that said "Fast Zombies Suck." And he had that as one of his merch items. Two, you'll also notice that the zombies here don't really go for brains. That was something that was established in a movie that, took off of this, called Return of the Living Dead. It was not a Romero film. They just used the title because Romero lost the copyright to this film, which is how I'm able to present it to you tonight without having any issues. So, thank goodness for that happening. Romero actually redid this film, directed by Tom Savini in the 1980s, because there were lots of things he wanted to change with it. I will point them out when we get to them. But also, this film was really ahead of its time. You'll notice that there's a lot of messages in it, and also there's a protagonist that's a black dude. And they didn't write it that way, they just cast it that way, and as they were filming it, they're like, oh, this suddenly has extra meanings. Cool. So, anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. Drinking game, if you have non-alcoholic or alcoholic beverages of your choice. Ooh, I need to get myself a soda. I'll have my assistant get me a soda. Drink eventually. It's okay. Thank you. You will want to drink anytime Barbara looks catatonic and is just staring off into the distance, and you expect her to say something, but not. Choose only that one though, cause it's a lot throughout this film. Drink every time the guy in the basement ends up saying things that sound like it could have happened at the Republican National Convention. And then last but not least, drink when you recognize one of the catchphrases from this film. There's several of them, including the famous, "They're coming to get you, Barbara." It's beautiful. Anyway, without further ado, I think we'll get started with things. This is, of course, the original Night of the Living Dead, done by George Romero, all the way from 1968. Enjoy. Boop, 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 boo. Do, 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 do. And this is me. Technology. Delightful. Yes, please. Thank you. I'm getting a glass with ice. Can you guys hear the film okay? Is the volume okay? This part of the film is really loud, so tell me how loud it is, or if it's like almost as loud as I am, it's good, so let me know. Yeah, I would love to make this be a regular thing. Ooh, Night of the Living Dead. So this film was originally, you saw the titles there, it was originally called Night of the Creeps, or Night of the Flesh Eaters, or even another working title was Night of the Ghouls. They don't call them zombies at all in this entire film. It's all just one-off words for them. Yes, 25 people. Look at the buckshot on that cemetery entrance sign. It just... It's real classy. This was shot outside of Pittsburgh back in the 60s, before the Highway Act, so all these dirt roads were because things weren't funded. Come on, infrastructure. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Wayne. No, it's long stretches of nothing.
They ought to make the day the time changes, the first day of summer.
What?
Well, it's 8 o'clock and it's still light.
A lot of good the extra daylight does us. Now, we've still got a 3-hour drive back. We're not going to be home until after midnight.
Well, if it really bugged you, Johnny, you wouldn't do it.
You think I want to blow Sunday on a scene like this? You know, I figure we're either going to have to move Mother out here or
We're
move
fixing
the
it.
grave into Pittsburgh.
She can't make a trip
It made
like
a
this.
noise.
Oh, darn it, she can't. Is there any of that candy left?
No.
Look at this thing. We still remember. I don't. You know, I don't even remember what the man looks like.
I love
Johnny,
how
it
cynical
takes
this
you
is.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes to put the wreath on the grave and 6 hours to drive back and forth. Mother wants to remember, so we trot 200 miles into the country and she stays at home.
Well, we're
Backstory.
here, John, all right?
Back on.
This has nothing to do with the plot. But listen.
Ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen, we're coming back on the air after an interruption due to technical problems.
I wonder what we're coming back on the air for.
There's nothing wrong with the radio. Must have been the station.
Which row is it in?
So they're supposed to be laying a wreath, flowers, little styrofoam flower piece on their dead dad's grave. But like he died like a long, long time ago, so it isn't like upsetting for either one of them, but Barbara doesn't like graveyards, so...
Well, there's no one around.
Well, it's late. If you'd gotten up earlier.
Oh, look, I already lost an hour's sleep on the time change.
I think you complain just to hear yourself talk. There it is.
I wonder what happened to the one from last year. Each year we spend good money on these things. We come out here and the one from last year's gone.
Well, the flowers die, and the caretaker or somebody takes them away.
Yeah, a little spit and polish, you can clean this up. Sell it next year. Wonder how many times we bought the same one.
I love Johnny because he's convinced he's getting scammed by everybody. Everyone.
Hey, come on, Barb. Church was this morning, huh?
Let her grieve. God doesn't like it. The leather glove that he's putting on. Keep that in mind for later. Driving gloves.
Hey, I mean, praying's for church, huh? Come on.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well, there's not much sense in my going to church. Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited, and he shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boys, you'll be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there.
Remember when I was a little shit to
You
you?
used to really be scared here.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
Here it is.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of it.
Johnny.
So, they shot the sequence sequentially. They literally shot the scene first thing before they shot anything else in the movie. So, this zombie here. Oh, here it goes. So this zombie's way more aggressive than any of the others. Ooh. That thud. That thud. We got pizza. Zombies being this aggressive. This is the one and only time the zombies are this aggressive in this film. You're my Uber driver! You're my Uber driver! You're my Uber driver! Uber driver! Uber! Uber driver! When you don't got keys, you just take off the parking brake. So, I read in an interview once that they had... I can curse here. They fucked up the side of this car. So they just left it and filmed this part of how it lands against a tree. Just to justify why it's all jacked up. Convincing. By the way, we have exited the dialogue part of this film for the next 10 minutes. No use in me going to church. Is he gay or atheist or both? Both is good. I'm gonna pretend Johnny is both. Johnny's cute. Bam! When you hit the gas pump so hard, you almost knocked over the gas pump. okay, we've now found the setting for the rest of the film, basically, except for like one or two other scenes. So, now that we're here, George Romero knows how he wrote this. And he looked back on it and was like, I made Barbara just catatonic, and she's a victim, and she doesn't have a lot of agency. So when they wrote the 1980s remake, they made her much more responsive and badass. She's almost like Sarah Connor. In it, she's like fucking like, cut off hair, military fatigues, just in it to win it. And she handles herself, and she's often the voice of reason for that film. So it's really interesting to see what they updated and changed. Not only culturally how things have changed, but also looking back on it, he as an artist was like, we can do better. I think I made this character kind of one note. I'ma lurk up in your house, 'cause I'm a white woman in the 60s, and I can do that without getting arrested. Taxidermy! Fuck your aluminum siding. Fuck your shrubs. Fuck your clothesline. Fuck your cable. It was all just one clothesline, I know, but still. Ain't no party like a broken phone, 'cause a broken phone don't ring. Yeah, it's all Foley. She is wearing pantyhose. Oh, okay. So, remember the zombie that was just super... Okay, now he turns around, sees how the extras are moving, and starts mimicking the extras. Barbara got a knife. Do 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 do. Barbara's got a knife. Do 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 do.
It's all right. Don't worry about him. I can handle him. Probably be a lot more of them as soon as they find out about us.
This is the beginning of the R. Kelly Trapped in the Closet video.
This pump out here is locked. Is there a key? We can try to get out of here if we can get some gas. Is there a key?
Help him. Help him, Barbara. Like, there's this line of, like, going through it.
Tried this.
And catatonic, and she is fully in catatonic land.
Do you live here? Jesus. We've got to get out of here. We have to get to where there's some other people.
Barbara, you could say
We
something.
better take some food. I'll see if I can find some food.
She is hugging that knife. Hugging. Barbara. Girl. Girl. Bosco's chocolate syrup. Yep. They literally used Bosco's chocolate syrup in this. Red on black and white films looks gray. So, they use that because it's darker. Oh, she gonna talk. She wants to talk. She's not gonna yet. She's good.
What's happening?
Oh.
What's happening?
Fuck your truck. Fuck your headlights.
There are two of them out there. Have you seen any more around here? I can take care of those two.
I don't
I know you're afraid, but we have
I
to...
don't know! I don't know! What's happening?
So this established a lot of things with the zombie mythos. Again, without using the Z word at all. One, blows to the head being the thing that actually takes a zombie out. Unless a corpse is burned to death, it's gonna come back as a zombie. And it comes back as a zombie within a minute. Kevin Spacey is coming for you, Barbara. Barbara, watch out. Barbara, don't cry. Barbara, don't pout. I'm telling you why. Kevin Spacey's right behind you. GTFO. Another person subscribed. By the way, if you subscribe during this video, it makes a flourish. So. It's not as good as the, like, shlunk sound of Ben killing one of those zombies, but that's pretty good.
I know we're in here now.
This is so much better than Walking Dead. I don't watch Walking Dead. Watch for his eyes moving. This creepiest thing. Boop boop.
Don't look at it.
It's supposed to be dead, but indie film, 1968. You do what you do. Outside of Pittsburgh. Fire bad. That also was established with this film. I think if you do unsubscribe and resubscribe, it'll give you a flourish. I'm about to hear a lot of blings, aren't I?
more lights on in this house.
It doesn't. The unsubscribe doesn't.
It doesn't do it. It's got to be new.
I think you can find some wood, some boards, something about a fireplace, something we can nail this place up.
Ooh.
Look, I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. But we have to try to board the house up together.
Please.
Now, I'm going to board up the windows and the doors. Do you understand? We'll be all right here. We'll be all right here until someone comes to rescue us. But we'll have to work together. You'll have to help me. Now, I want you to go in and get some wood so I can board the place up. Do you understand?
Please, please.
Okay? Okay?
Barbara's going through it for the entire film. She has two settings. Scared quiet and scared rambling. Those are her two settings for this whole film. That is it. Not creepy at all. Not creepy at all. Not creepy at all. Not creepy at all. Ben is utilitarian as fuck in this entire film. Makes me happy.
Joshua has a good question. Was there ever an adult porn parody version of Night of the Living Dead?
Oh. Was there ever an adult parody version of Night of the Living Dead? Off the top of my head, no, but I know there's been porn parodies of Walking Dead done by Wood Rocket Studios, so I'm sure someone did a porn parody of Night of the Living Dead.
On a similar vein, I do know that there was a porn version of Reanimator called Repenetrator.
Did everybody just hear that? There was a porn version of Reanimator called Repenetrator. Happy Saturday, y'all. Not gonna lie, I've lived in a lot of old houses and apartments, and like every time I see the like architecture of this kind of turn of the century house, I'm like, this would happen. This is what it would be like.
Not that strong. Yeah, I want you to pick out some nails. Pick out the biggest ones you can find. Yeah, this room looks pretty secure.
There's a porn version of The Ring called The Hole.
If we have to, we can run in here and board up the doors.
No, ma'am,
Won't be
Pam.
long for those things be back pounding their way in here. They're afraid now.
If you see the hole in 7 days, you die. How does that work?
They're afraid of fire. I found that out.
Fire bad.
You know a place back down the road called Beekman's? Beekman's Diner? Anyhow, that's where I found that truck I have out there.
His monologue work here is
There's
so
a radio
good.
on the truck. I had jumped in to listen to it when a big gasoline truck came screaming right across the road. But there must have been 10, 15 of those things chasing after it, grabbing and holding on. Now, I didn't see them at first. I could just see that the truck was moving in a funny way. And those things were catching up to it. The truck went right across the road. Slammed on my brakes to keep from hitting it myself. It went right through the guardrail. I guess the driver must have cut off the road into that gas station by Beekman's Diner.
Not
Went
Beekman's
right through a
World.
billboard,
Beekman's
ripped over
Diner.
a gas pump and never stopped moving. By now it's like a moving bonfire. Didn't know if the truck was going to explode or what. Still hear the man screaming. This thing is just backing away from it.
It's so good.
I looked back at the diner to see if there was anyone there who could help me. It was when I noticed that the entire place had been encircled. There wasn't a sign of life left except by now there were no more screams. I realized that I was alone with 50 or 60 of those things, just standing there, staring at me. I started to drive. I just plowed right through them. They didn't move. They didn't run or just stood there, staring at me.
I'm letting this
Just
play.
wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
We were riding in the cemetery.
The fact that you can recognize what he's
Johnny.
talking about is so good, and you've seen it in other zombie films now after that. It's so, Now, I like what Barbara does here, where she just
put a
rewrites
wreath
what happened.
on my father's grave. Johnny, and he said, "Can I have some candy, Barbara?" We didn't have any. And, oh, it's hot in here. Hot. And he said, "Oh, it's late. Why did we start so late?" And I said, "Johnny, if you'd gotten up earlier, we wouldn't be late." Johnny asked me if I were afraid. And I said, "I'm not afraid, Johnny." And then this man started walking up the road. He came slowly, and Johnny kept teasing me and saying, "He's coming to get you, Barbara." And I laughed at him and said, "Johnny, stop it." And then Johnny ran away. And I went up to this man, and I was going to apologize.
Why don't you just keep calm?
And I looked up, and I said, "Goody." And he grabbed me. He grabbed me, and he ripped at me. He held me, and he ripped at my clothes.
I think you should just calm down.
Oh, I screamed, "Johnny! Johnny, help me! Oh, help me!" And he wouldn't let me go. He ripped. And then Johnny came and he ran and he fought this man. And
Just making it
I
up.
got so afraid. I ran. And Johnny didn't come. We have to wait for Johnny.
Barbara's not well.
Maybe we better
Barbara's
go out and
rewriting
get him.
things.
We have to go out and get Johnny. He's out there. Please, don't you hear me? We've got to go out and get him. Please, we have got to go get Johnny. Please help me. Please.
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
Don't you understand? My brother is alone.
Your brother is dead.
No, my brother is not dead.
Mm-mm. 1968. She like karate chopped his neck. For the record, the guy that plays Ben, actually, last I checked, was a theater teacher in upstate New York, I think Syracuse. He doesn't do a lot with the horror movie circuit. He should. This film has a capital F following.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments.
WXPZ, giving you all the best in exposition. Exposition Radio.
Epidemic of mass murder being committed by a virtual army of unidentified assassins. The murders are taking place in villages, cities, rural homes, and suburbs with no apparent pattern or reason for
All
the
four
slaying.
places.
It seems to be a sudden, general explosion of mass homicide. We have some descriptions of the assassins. Eyewitnesses say they are ordinary-looking people. Some say they appear to be in a kind of trance. Others describe them as being
Yes. The guy who played Ben in the 80s one did also play Candyman. Tony Todd, right? I'm not messing up his name.
misshapen monsters. Reaction
Yes.
of law enforcement officials is one of complete bewilderment at this hour. So far, we have
Yep,
been
Tony Todd.
unable to
Bam!
determine that any
Thank
kind
you,
of
Google.
organized
Thank you, Wayne.
investigation is underway. Police, sheriff deputies, and emergency ambulances are literally deluged with calls for help. The scene can best be described as mayhem. Mayors of Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and Miami, along with the governors of several eastern and midwestern states, have indicated the National Guard may be mobilized at any moment with that
WSKID, Skid Radio.
our reporters have been able to get from official sources it's for private citizens to stay in their homes behind locked doors. Do not venture outside for any reason until the nature of this crisis has been determined.
Is playing a movie about quarantine a slightly tasteless and scary thing to do in the middle of a quarantine? Yes. Are we doing it?
Thousands of office
Yes.
and factory workers are being urged to stay at their places of employment, not to make any attempt to get to their homes. However, in spite of this urging and warning, streets and highways are packed with frantic people trying to reach their families or apparently to flee just anywhere. We repeat, the safest course of action at this time is simply to stay where you
Fuck yo couch. Fuck yo couch. By the way, Tony Todd's going to be in the new Candyman, and I'm so excited for it.
meeting of his cabinet.
Thank you, Wayne.
The sudden epidemic of murder which has seized the eastern third of this nation. The meeting is scheduled to convene
Getting a
within the
refill.
hour. Members of the presidential cabinet will be joined by officials of the FBI and joint teams behind closed doors. The White House spokesman, in announcing this conference, says there will be an official announcement as soon as possible following that meeting. This is the latest dispatch just received in our newsroom. Latest word also from National Press Services in Washington, D.C. now tells us that the emergency presidential conference, which we've just mentioned, will include high-ranking scientists from the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. That's the extent of this latest bulletin.
Come on, NASA.
Members of this cabinet, the FBI, joint chiefs of staff, and scientists from NASA within the hour. All radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country deploying their facilities in an emergency network to bring you this news as it develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV and to stay indoors at all costs. Late reports reaching this newsroom tell of frightened people seeking refuge in churches, schools, and government buildings, demanding shelter and protection from the wholesale murder which apparently is engulfing much of the nation.
Wholesale murder. Such good phrases. Boarding up an entire house by yourself. Like, no. Would not. Could not.
Go home and lock their doors and windows up tight. We don't know what kind of murder-happy characters we have here. Ken Cook, Chief Dunmore of Camden, North Carolina. So far, the only descriptions, the only clues anyone has of the killers come from frightened witnesses who summoned the stand. These eyewitness accounts very often describe the murderers as ordinary-looking people, misshapen monsters, people who look like they're in a trance, and things that look like people but act like animals. Some eyewitnesses tell of seeing victims who look as though they had been torn apart.
Well, yeah, you karate chopped my neck and I had to slap you back, but I'll get you some shoes. This is actually a story about how the Black Panthers were first started. I'm kidding. It was the Sybian Liberation Army.
Our newsman have been on the telephone talking with officials of other cities.
Google that.
None of this kind of mass murder has yet
Patty Hearst says hello.
river, except in the extreme southeastern portion of Texas. Similar killings have been reported around the Houston and Galveston areas, but nothing like
I found a gun and some bullets out there.
She got her best Morticia Adams lighting. Just
became clear we were facing
right
some
across the
kind
eyes.
of national emergency. When first reports began filtering in, newsmen and law enforcement agencies were of the opinion
This place is boarded up pretty solid now.
in nature. However, as these
We ought to be all right here for a while.
dramatically,
chatting her up,
We have a gun and bullets,
putting on her
food and
shoes.
radio.
began to suspect an obscure kind of conspiracy.
Sooner or later, someone bound to come and get us out.
Creatures from outer space. So again, we joined with law enforcement
Ben is too good for this world.
sheltered in the building.
Straight up.
Doors and windows securely.
Hey, that's us. We're doing all right.
Of any suspicious strangers. And keep tuned to your radio and television for survival instructions and further details of this continuing story.
Look, I don't know if you're hearing me,
Goes on in the absence of any law.
but I'm going upstairs now.
It's almost as though some critical balance of
If anything should try to break in here, I can hear it from up there. I'll be down to take care of it.
You know, I guess they didn't show the bathroom because it would be hard to film.
Everything is all right for now. I'll be back to reinforce the windows and doors later.
They were on a practical
But you'll be
set.
all right for
Like it's
now,
a
okay?
for real house they were filming on. So
Okay.
it wasn't like they had like the
Civil defense officials
swinging out
in Cumberland
walls
have told newsmen that murder victims
that you would
show
film
evidence of having
the
been
bathroom scene in.
partially
So if you
devoured.
can't fit the entire filming rig in there, we're not filming it. Ben is thorough. Joshua, I would love to do a John Waters film, but I don't think I legally can. I think all of them are under a copyright of one film studio or another.
Prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating the flesh of the people they murdered.
Drink.
Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Cumberland, Maryland, civil defense authorities have told newsmen that
this.
murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers. Medical examination of victims' bodies shows conclusively that the killers are eating the flesh of the people they kill. And so this incredible story becomes more ghastly with each report. It's difficult to imagine such a thing actually happening, but these are the reports we have been receiving and passing on to you, reports which have been verified as completely as is possible in this confused situation. It is happening. and it would appear
Shit's
that no
getting
one
real.
is safe from this wave of mass murder.
Don't shoot! We're from town. A radio.
County, Pennsylvania. The Butler County Sheriff is verified by their slayers is true. No further details available at this time. However,
How long you guys been down there? I could use some help up here.
That's the cellar. It's the safest place.
You mean you didn't hear the racket we were making up here?
How were we supposed to know what was going on? Could have been those things for all we knew.
That girl was screaming. Sure, you must know what a girl screaming sounds like. Those things don't make any noise. Anybody would know somebody ever needed help.
Look, it's kind of hard to hear what's going on from down there. We thought we could hear screams, but for all we knew, that could have meant those things were in the house afterward.
And you wouldn't come up and help.
Well, if there were more, the racket sounded like the place was being ripped apart. How were we supposed to know what was going on?
The sweaty teen heartthrob character. He's supposed to be young, but he's in his 20s. Like,
All right, now you tell me. I'm not going to take that kind of a chance when we got a safe place. We luck into a safe place, and you're telling us we got to risk our lives just because somebody might need help, huh?
Yeah, something like that.
All right, why don't we settle this, mister?
drink.
We came up. Okay, we're here. Now I suggest we all go back downstairs before any of those things find out we're in here.
They can't get in here.
You got the whole place boarded up?
Yeah, most of it. All the few spots upstairs. They won't be hard to fix.
You're insane. The cellar's the safest place.
I'm telling you, they can't get in here.
And I'm telling you, those things turned over our car. We were damn lucky to get away at all. Now you tell me those things can't get through this lousy pile of wood? His wife and kids downstairs. Kids hurt.
Well, I still think we're better off up here.
We could strengthen everything up, Mr. Cooper.
With all of us working, we can fix this place up in no time. We have everything we need up here.
We can take all that up downstairs with us. Man, you're really crazy. You know that? You got a million windows up here.
Upstairs, downstairs. It's like an episode of Downton Abbey.
I told you those things don't have any strength. I smashed 3 of them and pushed another one out the door.
Did you hear me when I told you they turned over our car?
Oh, hell, any good 5 men can do that.
That's my point. Only there's not going to be 5 or even 10. There's going to be 20, 30, maybe 100 of those things. And as soon as they know we're here, this place is going to be crawling with them.
Well, if there are that many, they'll probably get us wherever we are.
Look, the cellar. The cellar, there's only one door, right? Just one door, that's all we have to protect. Tom and I fixed it so it locks and boards from the inside. But up here, all these windows, why, we'd never know where they were going to hit us next. You got a point, Mr. Cooper. But down in the cellar, there's no place to run to. I mean, if they did get in, there'd be no back exit. We'd be done for. We can get out of here if we have to. And we got windows to see what's going on outside.
That's what happens when you argue with most
But down
people.
there with no
You make a
windows,
good
the
point,
rescue
and
party wouldn't even know. But the cellar is the strongest place.
The cellar is a death trap.
I don't know, Mr. Cooper. I think he's right. You know how many's out there?
I don't know.
don't vote for Cooper.
Look,
Don't.
you two can do whatever you like. I'm going back down to the cellar, and you better decide. Because I'm going to board up that door, and I'm not going to unlock it again no matter what happens.
Cellar people.
No, I'm not going to wait. I've made my decision, now you make yours. Now, wait a minute. Let's think about this. We can make it to the cellar if we have to. And if we do decide to stay down there, we'll need some things from up here. So let's at least consider this a while.
Josh, I just read your things. Yeah.
You boxed yourself in the cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it. At least up here you have a fighting
Short,
chance.
sweaty.
Yeah, it looks like about 8 or 10 out there now.
There's more than there were.
Tucked in
There are
t-shirt.
a lot out back, too.
Would you like a copy of The Watchtower? Man, this effect, the clay hand that they're... Practical effects, man. Slightly cute zombies.
Larry?
It's all right.
Larry, what's happening?
It's all right.
Not the chest. Not the chest. There we are. Various states of undress. This is why you should never sleep naked. You gonna be a naked zombie. Naked zombie. Naked. This is commitment.
We gotta fix these boards. You're crazy. Those things are gonna be at every window and door in this place. We've got to get down into the cellar.
Go down in your damn cellar. Get out of here!
Smudges randomly looking like Ash Wednesday.
I'm taking the girl with me.
You leave her here. Keep your hands off her. And everything else that's up here, too. Because if I stay up here, I'm fighting for everything up here. And the radio and the food is part of what I'm fighting for. Now, if you're going down the cellar, get.
The man's insane. He's insane. We've got to have food down there. We've got a right.
This is your house.
We've got a right.
You going down there with him?
Well,
Yes or no? This is your last chance. No beating around the bush.
listen, I got a kid down there.
Team
She can't
upstairs.
I couldn't bring her up here. She can't possibly take all the racket and those things smashing through the windows.
Well, you're her father. If you're stupid enough to go die in that trap, that's your business. However, I am not stupid enough to follow you. It is tough for the kid that her old man is so stupid. Now, get the hell down in the cellar. You can be the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
Reads him for filth.
Bastards. You know, I won't open this door again. I mean it. Mr. Cooper, with your help, we could... With my help?
Let him go, man. His mind is made up. Just let him go.
Wait a minute. Judy, come on up here, honey.
Judy, 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 Judy. She has the
Now, let
driest
them get her too,
hair.
huh? It's all right, honey. Go ahead.
Judy and Barbara can be friends. They can be blonde together.
If we stick together, man, we can fix it up real good. There's lots of places we can run to up here. Mr. Cooper, we'd all be a lot better
Run
off.
to,
All three of us were
baby.
working together.
Nowhere to hide.
Hey. Hey, kid.
Poor Judy's overprocessed hair.
He's wrong, you know. I'm not boxing myself in down there.
That's the real victim at an apocalypse.
Remains on the air day and night.
Well, we're safe now. It's boarded up tight.
Now Helen reads
What
him.
about Tom and Judy?
His wife.
They want to stay up there and let them.
Look at her.
There are two other people upstairs, a man and a girl.
We heard you screaming.
Yeah, but I didn't know who they were, and I wasn't about to take any unnecessary chances.
Of course not, Harry.
3 words. That's all.
Is she all right?
I don't know what it is. She feels warm. Maybe it's shock.
Where'd you get the bandage?
Some laundry in a basket. I tore a sheet.
Let them stay upstairs. Let them. Too many ways those monsters can get in up there. We'll see who's right. We'll see when they come begging me to let them in down here.
That's important, isn't it?
What?
To be right, everybody else to be wrong.
What do you mean by that?
Does
Helen
anyone up there know
reads
why
him.
we're being attacked?
Whatever it isn't just happening here. It's some kind of mass murder. It's going on everywhere. The radio said to stay inside.
Radio?
Radio upstairs. I heard a news bulletin.
There's a radio upstairs and you boarded us in down here?
I know what I'm doing.
What did it say?
Nothing.
Helen
Nothing.
gonna hit you.
They don't know anything yet. But there's mass murder everywhere, and People are supposed to look for a safe place to hide.
Take the boards off that door.
We are staying down here, Helen.
Harry, that radio is at least some kind of communication. If the authorities know what's happening, well, they'll send people for us so they'll tell us what to do. How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon?
Get it, Harry. Love Helen so much. So it's theoretically nobody's house. It was the like weird corpse they saw at the top of the stairs. Theoretically, that was the farm owners.
But dying together isn't going to solve anything.
Theoretically.
Those people aren't our enemies.
Mr. Cooper, Ben found a television set upstairs.
Let's go up. Tom?
Yeah.
If Judy would come downstairs for a few minutes, Harry and I could come upstairs.
Okay, yeah, right away.
Will you do it?
Do I have to?
Look, honey, nothing's going to get done with them down there and us up here. Do this for me.
Okay.
It's like a prisoner exchange.
Okay, open up.
Don't be like Harry. Don't be like Harry. Don't be like Harry. Mr. Cooper's a dick. Helen's got the cutest purse. Those handles.
I'll take good care of her, Helen.
She's all I have.
Why don't you go upstairs now?
Yeah, Cooper would totally call this a liberal conspiracy nowadays. Helen is really into lace right now.
Hey, give me a hand with this thing.
I gotta go help Ben with the television.
Oh, Helen. I know you want to be useful. But Barbara is not talking to you. Don't. Baby girl, no. When people didn't have cell phones to break the ice, they just smoked. That's what the secret was.
Don't be afraid of me. I'm Helen Cooper, Harry's wife.
Oh, in that case.
This place is ridiculous. Look at this. There's a million weak spots up here. Give me one of those.
Her brother was killed.
Did she listen to the monologue earlier?
Like, they talk about these windows. I can't see a damn thing. There could be 15 million of those things out there. That's how much good these windows are.
He's angry that the windows won't let him
Why
see
don't
out.
you do something to help somebody?
I love Helen. I'm Team Helen, I'm Team Ben.
There's
the socket over here.
And the young man with the t-shirt can be my consort.
I don't want anyone's life on my hands.
Is there anything I can do to
I don't want to hear any more from you, mister. If you stay up here, you take orders from me. And that includes leaving the girl alone.
It's on, it's on.
There's no sound.
Yes.
Play with the rabbit ears.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think? We're imagining all this?
Shut up!
In all parts of the country. The wave of murder which is sweeping the eastern third of the nation is being committed by creatures who feast upon the flesh of their victims. first eyewitness accounts of this grisly development came from people who were understandably frightened and almost incoherent. Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted, and medical examinations of some of the victims bore out the fact that they had been partially devoured.
Bore
I
out.
think we have some late word just arriving, and I'll interrupt to bring this to you. This is the latest disclosure in a report from National Civil Defense Headquarters in Washington. It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder. A widespread investigation of reports from funeral homes, morgues, and hospitals has concluded that the unburied dead are coming back to life and seeking human victims. It's hard for us here to believe what we're reporting to you, but it does seem to be a fact. When this emergency first began, radio and television was advising people to stay inside, behind locked doors for safety. Well, that situation has now changed, and we're able to report a definite course of action for you. Civil defense machinery has been organized to provide rescue stations with food, shelter, medical treatment, and protection by armed National Guardsmen. Stay tuned to the broadcasting stations in your local area for this list of rescue stations. This list will be repeated throughout our news coverage.
1968.
Look
This
for
was
the name of the rescue station
Lyndon B.
nearest
Johnson
you,
by now?
and make your way to that location as soon as possible.
So we have that truck. We can get some gas. We can get out of here.
LBJ was wrong on a lot of things, but you know he would get shit together. Together.
Called this afternoon by the president. Since convening this conference of the presidential cabinet, the FBI, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the CIA has not produced any public information. Why are space experts being consulted about an Earth-bound emergency? So far, all the betting on the answer to that question centers on the recent Explorer satellite shot to Venus. That satellite, you'll recall, started back to Earth, but never got here. That's the space vehicle which orbited Venus and then was purposely destroyed by NASA when scientists discovered it was carrying a mysterious high-level radiation.
Mysterious.
Could that radiation be somehow responsible for the wholesale murders we're now suffering? Newsman Don Quinn in Washington has posed those questions.
It's obvious our best move is to try to get out of here.
How are you going to get over to that pump?
Officially, that isn't necessarily
You're
what...
coming from a meeting regarding the explosion of the Venus probe, is that right?
Venus probe.
Yes, that was the subject of the meeting.
You feel there is a connection between this and the phenomenon?
There's a definite connection. A definite connection.
In other words, you feel that the radiation on the Venus probe is enough to cause these mutations?
There was a very high degree of radiation.
Well, just a minute. I'm not sure that that's certain at all. I don't think that has been
irrefutably
explanation
that
we
have at this time.
In other words, it is the military's viewpoint that the radiation is not the cause of the mutation.
I can't speak for the entire military at this time, gentlemen. I must disagree with these gentlemen presently until this is irrefutably proved.
Everything is being done that can be done.
This is as definite as it gets in the movie. And that's okay.
Professor, you feel that there is a definite connection between
a definite connection as far as Dr. Keller and myself.
Doctor, please. I thought we decided that is not proved yet.
Was the satellite, when the satellite was exploded?
An unusual amount of radiation, enough to cause mutation under certain circumstances.
Could have happened.
Have a bearing on it.
It does seem to have a bearing.
Will there be a reply for the
later?
Yes.
There will be a reply.
Yes.
Later this afternoon. There will be a report this afternoon.
Well, perhaps there will be a report.
Later.
Will you close the window?
We have everything possible to solve the problem.
You know, we have to try to get out of here.
He said the rescue stations have doctors and medical supplies. If we could get care in there, we could get help for
I
it.
love that people are going full in on the...
space science and technology.
Willard.
George Bush, LBJ.
It's only about 17 miles from here.
You know this area. You from around here?
Judy and I are both from around here. We were on our way up to the lake to go swimming. And Judy had a radio, and we heard the first reports about this. So we knew the old house was here, and we came in and found the lady upstairs.
Now the Caesar
Then these other people came.
We went down into the basement.
Theoretically, everything's radioactive. That's the reason why everybody, no matter how they die, comes back to life. In this one, it isn't like a virus or anything. It's like you get bitten, you mysteriously come back. Not even bitten, you die.
Dr. Grimes,
even unrelated to zombie attack. You simply die, you come back.
Find some solution to
Boop,
these
that's
things
it.
that are happening.
So yeah, theoretically the oceans, you might end up with zombie fish.
Was it
First, let
Zombie
me
2,
stress the importance of
Fulci
seeking
movie that
medical
had the
attention
zombie
for
fighting
anyone
the
who's
shark?
been injured in any way. We don't know
I
yet
don't
what
remember.
complications might result from such injury.
How bad is
I've seen those films by Fulci like years ago, but it's been like forever. I don't remember.
You go down there and tell...
There's a zombie film where a shark gets
Yeah,
bitten.
you tell Judy to come up here and you stay with the kid, all right?
I will go wash my hands.
In
Thank
the
you.
cold room at the university, we had a cadaver. A cadaver from which all 4 limbs had been amputated. Sometime early this morning, it opened its eyes and began to move its trunk. It was dead, but it opened its eyes and tried to move.
They want you upstairs. Did she ask for me?
She hasn't done anything.
I don't understand. Baby. It's Mommy.
I heard.
Move your trunk, honey.
I'll come back down as soon as I find out what they want.
Thank you, Judy.
The body should be disposed of at once, preferably by cremation.
Well, how long after death, then, does the body become reactivated?
It's only a matter of minutes.
Minutes? Well, that doesn't give people time to make any arrangements.
No, you're right. It doesn't give them time to make funeral arrangements. The bodies must be carried to the street and burned. They must be burned immediately. Soak them with gasoline and burn them. The bereaved will have to forego the dubious comforts that a funeral service will give.
The dubious
They're just dead
comforts.
flesh and dangerous.
I see.
Judy, I need you to find some bags,
1960s public health
Carry the
experts
small
did
space, okay?
not mince
Is
words.
there a fruit cellar here?
Yes.
We need some bottles or jars. Make Molotov cocktails and hold them out while we try to escape.
Hey, there's a big can of kerosene down there.
I'll see what I can find.
I'll look for the bottles. There's a big key ring down there. Or maybe a key to the gas pump on it.
Oh yeah, Zombie
I'll
was
check.
called Zombie 2.
We can toss the cocktails
It like
from the window
renamed
upstairs.
itself.
Meantime, a couple of us can go out and try to get the gas and come back for the rest of the people.
But that'll leave a door open someplace.
Yeah, that's right. It better be this door. It's closer to the truck. Before we go out, we'll put some supplies behind the cellar door. While we're gone, the rest of you can hold up in there.
I found some fruit jars in the cellar. And there's a key on here that's labeled for the gas pump out back.
I'm not really that used to the truck. I found it abandoned.
I can handle the truck, no sweat.
What's anti-Semitic?
You and I'll go.
Humans? Because they're not kosher?
We'll put whatever lumber we find behind the cellar door. You can go upstairs and toss the cocktails from a window. Tom, you and I will have to unboard this door. After you toss the cocktails, you hustle back down here and lock this door. It's no good to board it up because we'll have to get back in quickly. After we get the gas and get back into the house, then we'll worry about
Going
getting
back to live in the
everybody
middle of
into the truck.
Shiva.
Let's move it.
This movie ain't right.
Except for the rest
This movie don't do nothing right.
Indications are that before this emergency is over, we will need many, many more such rescue stations.
Well, time for snack time.
You always have a smile for me. How can you smile like that all the time?
He's so cute. If
How
he
many
was
we
my
have
boyfriend,
dinner?
I would smile all the time.
Come on, honey, we gotta move.
Tom, are you sure about the phone?
The phone is dead out. All you get is a recorded message.
If I could only call the folks.
Tom.
They're going to be so worried about us.
Everything will be all right. As soon as we get to Willard, we'll call them. They might even be there.
I know.
This print is very inconsistent in its light levels and quality.
Are you sure we're doing the right thing, Tom?
What, about getting out of here?
Yeah.
Well, the television said that's the right thing to do. We've got to get to a rescue station.
I don't know.
Come on, honey, you're starting to sound like Mr. Cooper now.
But why do you have to go out there?
Look,
Don't
I know
sound
how to
like
handle
Mr.
that truck,
Cooper.
and I can handle the pump.
Ben doesn't know anything about that stuff.
Wait a second.
But we're safe in here.
Does he
For
think
how long, honey?
Ben doesn't know
we're
how to
safe now, but there's going to be more and more of those things.
work a gas pump?
I
Oh.
know all that.
Did they have self-serve back then?
Hey, listen.
Eh?
Remember when we had the big flood? Remember how difficult it was for us to convince you that it was right to leave? Remember? Remember we had to go to Willard then? This isn't a passing thing, honey. It's not like just a wind passing through. We've got to do something, and fast.
I just don't want you to go out there, that's all.
Hey, Smiley. Where's that big smile for me? Boy, you're sure no use at all, are you? We've got work to do, honey.
You sure are no use at all.
Yeah.
What's with that dialogue? Like, trying to, like, prove that he's not emotional? Like, I'm gonna insult you. Negging someone cause you're getting choked up.
We better get her downstairs.
Drink, I just tongue popped.
We
You're
have to
welcome,
go
Bob.
downstairs now, Barbara.
She's right. You have to go downstairs now, just for a little while until we
Come
get
on,
back.
Barbara.
Then we can all leave.
Oh, I'd like to leave. Yes.
That's the only way she understood. Check the Mason jar brand. It's the Ball brand. Like, same logo. Freaking.
Good luck.
60 years ago now? This is a 60-year-old movie. I just did that math. I didn't realize. Almost 60. 50. Oof. That look, Tom. That look. I'm sorry I'm being thirsty over Tom. I have needs, and his t-shirt is sweaty. That's all. Question. Anyone in the chat room never seen this film before?
Okay,
Like, at all? If you've never seen this, tell me your predictions in the chat room. And don't lie to me. Seriously, I want to know what people have never seen this think might happen. You're in for a treat, Sam.
Go ahead, go on.
Josh, you've never seen this either. Crystal. Christian. Yes. This sequence, though.
I'm going with him.
Get back in the cellar. I'm going. It's too late. It's too late.
Judy. Judy, you ran outside.
Come on.
Get in the car, Judy. Judy, Barbara, Helen. Don't be a Judy. Be a Helen. Look at that classic ass truck, though. That's like 1950s. I admire the commitment that these extras did for this. Again, this is an indie film. They were not being funded by a major studio at all. Do people still have private gas pumps? Is that a thing? At like farms?
Come on! This key won't work. Watch it.
Blam! Ben's got a boomstick.
Watch the torch!
Tom was talking all this smack about like Ben doesn't know how to work a gas pump. He just sloshes the gas all over the side of the truck.
Hang on! Now, turn your cars to get out of the truck!
Your truck is on fire, Tom. Your truck is on fire, Tom. Tom, your truck is on fire.
Let's get out of here. Come on, come on.
My jacket's gone.
Her jacket. No. And there went like half the budget for the film. Poor Ben. You didn't let him in. He needed your help. He wanted your assistance. You could have kept him from almost not dying. Now you. Could have kept Judy inside. Could have let Ben back in. But no.
I dragged you out there and feed you those things.
His face. Ooh, he's 11. Got a little blood trickle. Go use his psychic powers on you. Zombies eating fried chicken. Zombies eating fried chicken. Fried chicken zombies. Zombies eat fried chicken. Ow. No, Tom isn't a sexy zombie. So the corpse has to still be like corpse-like. If there's too much of an injury to the head, then the corpse doesn't come back to life. That's like the rule, at least in this zombie universe. Again, without using the Z word. A whole film. So for all these scenes, they used roasted ham with chocolate sauce on it. So it still looked like light and fleshy and floppy. And then for the blood, just chocolate drizzled. I know. I agree, Ben. Chocolate drizzle on ham is not what I need.
Isn't it 3 o'clock yet? There's supposed to be another broadcast at 3 o'clock.
10 minutes.
Oh, only 10 more minutes? We don't have very long to wait. We can leave.
Oh, Barbara.
Well, we better leave soon. It's 10 minutes to 3.
It is
Do you
10
know
minutes
anything
to 3,
about this
Barbara.
area at all? I mean, is Willard the nearest town?
I don't know. We were just trying to get to a motel before dark.
You say those things turned your car over. You think we can get it back on its wheels and drive it? Where is it?
Seems like it was pretty far away. Seems like we ran.
Forget it. It's at least a mile.
Johnny has the keys.
You gonna carry that child a mile through that army of things out there?
I can carry the kid.
Oh,
what's wrong with her? How'd she get hurt?
One of those things grabbed her.
Bit her on the arm.
What's wrong?
Who knows what kind of disease those things carry? Is she conscious?
Barely.
She can't walk. She's too weak.
Well, one of us could try to get to the car.
You gonna turn it over by yourself?
You have a car? Where? Where is it?
You won't be able to start it.
Yeah, I know. But where is it?
They had enough of Tom and Judy, and now they want seconds.
Good Lord.
I like the medium fast
Being
zombies
monitored
that just kind
closely
of
by
walk through the
scientists
scene.
at all the radiation detection stations. At this hour, they report the level of the mysterious radiation continues to increase steadily. So long as this situation remains, government spokesmen warn that dead bodies will continue to be transformed into the flesh-eating ghouls. All persons who die during this crisis, from whatever cause, will come back to life to seek human victims unless their bodies are first disposed of by cremation. Our news cameras have just returned
Cremation.
covering such a search and destroy operation against the ghouls. This one conducted by Sheriff Conan McClellan in Butler County, Pennsylvania. So now let's go to that film report. All law enforcement agencies and the military have been organized to search out and destroy the marauding ghouls. The Survival Command Center at the Pentagon has disclosed that a ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head or a heavy blow to the skull. Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain and you kill the ghoul.
Drink.
Want anything from the supplier I can cut? No, we're all right.
This mayor.
Hey, Cass, put that thing all the way in the fire. We don't want it getting up again.
Chief McClellan, how's everything going?
Oh, things aren't going
Police
too
chief.
bad. Men are taking it pretty good. You want to get on the other side of the road over there?
With the
Chief, do you think we'll be
bandolier.
able to defeat these things?
Well, we killed 19 of them today right in this area. Those last 3 we caught trying to claw their way into an abandoned shed. They must have thought somebody was in there. There wasn't, though. We heard them making all kind of noise. We came over and beat them off, blasted them down. Yeah, okay.
Chief, if I were surrounded by 6 or 8 of these things, would I stand a chance with them?
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot them in the head. That's a sure way to kill them. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat them or burn them. They go up pretty easy.
Well, Chief McClellan, how long do you think it will take you until you get the situation under control?
Well, that's pretty hard to say. We don't know how many of them there are. We know when we find them, we can kill them.
Are they slow-moving, Chief?
Yeah, they're dead. They're
Ghoul
all
busters.
messed up.
Well, in time, would you say you ought to be able to wrap this up in 24 hours?
Well, we don't really know. We know we'll
Ghouls.
be into it most of the night, probably into the early morning. We're working our way toward Willard, and we'll team up with the National Guard over there, and then we'll be able to give a more definite view.
Thank you very much, Chief McClellan.
This is Bill Cardell, WIC TV 11 News.
Thank you, Bill, for that report. Official
I
spokesman
like that
declined to
Sam and
speculate
Josh
just how
in
long
the
it may
chat
take
room
to
aren't
kill off
joining
all
up
the
to like voice anti-Semitic concerns. Not kosher, anti-Semitic.
Is the fuse box in the cellar?
Eating ham.
I don't know.
Sometimes just got beat 19 of them off.
The power lines are down.
You could beat off 6 or 8 of them.
Helen, I have to get that gun.
Haven't you had enough?
Well, 2 people are dead already on account of that guy. Take a look out that window, Cricket.
On account of that guy. They found tools again.
Why is it always daylight in the news cut anyways?
Exactly. One could theoretically explain it away that they filmed all that while it was still daylight, and now they finally got the film back to the news studio, and they're talking about the groups mobilizing, but it was just all shot out of sequence. Can we reason with the zombies, have them withdraw over a 5-year period? You know, that's what we need with zombies. We need an incrementalist outbreak plan for them to slowly withdraw. First off, they'll welcome us as liberators. Don't steal Ben's gun.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to stay up here now? Helen, get the cellar. Get the cellar now. Move!
Serves them right, though. Helen, get away from the window. Yeah, zombies figuring out how to use tools. It has a whole caveman thing with it, where it's like, okay, somewhere back in the back of your head, you still know what to do, you still know how to live. You still do what you did when you were alive. This is very vague mythology. The first zombie! He's back! Helen has the best hair. Help her. Yes! Barbara's getting it together. Death for Cooper. Someone needs to dress as this little girl for a Halloween costume contest or a con, and I mean do like black and white makeup, like make your whole entire body in costume gray and just have this trowel and just walk around. Easy costume. That's possibly the most like artsy sequence in the entire film. Johnny with his driving gloves. Well, that got real quick. First zombie. Yeah, Jeffrey, I was saying earlier, they use Bosco's chocolate syrup. A lot of black and white horror films did because red looks gray in those films. So they use chocolate syrup because the dark color looks creepier and more convincing. Your brain, for some reason, is more interested in it. We just want your toilet paper. Give us the toilet paper. Oh, I've never seen that cosplay at Spooky Empire. Cheap IKEA doors. I think Bosco's was just available more. Came in jars. He gets like 12 in. Not just double tap. Helen would be a good cosplay too, with the trowel in the chest. Poor Helen. But that's an example where she didn't get bitten. It's supposed to be maybe radiation, and hence just people come back from the grave. We don't know why. No, Nicole, it was actually Bosco's. I found a photo of them, of Helen, with the chocolate syrup all over her, and they have the special effects guy with the jar of Bosco's and a paintbrush, being like, they were very proud of it. Okay. It's finally morning. He locked himself up. We got helicopters. It's morning in America. Nice, John. Morning has broken, and in morning. Well, the idea is the zombies have shuffled off somewhere else.
Hey, Vince, Al, you want to get about 4 or 5 men and a couple dogs? There's a house over here behind those trees. We want to go check it out.
Thank
you. Go here, Bill.
Yeah, Chief, we're going to stay with it till we meet up with the National Guard.
Where'd you get the coffee?
one of the volunteers. You're doing all the work. You take it.
Thank you. We should be wrapped up here about 3 or 4 more hours. We'll probably get into Willard then. I guess you can go over there and meet the National Guard. Nick, you and the rest of these men want to come with me?
Well, Bill, I'm going to check in the office, see what's happening.
All right, Steve. Tell them we're going to stay with it, and everything appears to be under control.
This ending, though. This ending. Did he survive the night? Acting human? Or is he? You can really see this inspiration this film did for all these other films.
They need you down there by the barn. Some of these guys can follow the wagon down. I only need a few men to check out the house. Somebody had a cookout here, Vince. Yeah, sure looks like it, Cop.
Cookout.
Get up here. Nick, Tony, Steve, you want to get out in that field and build me a bonfire?
Build him a bonfire.
You, drag that out of here and throw it on the fire. Nothing down here? All right, go ahead down and give him a hand. Let's go check out the house. There's something there. I heard a noise. All right, Vince, hit him in the head, right between the eyes. Good shot. Okay, he's dead. Let's go get him. That's another one for the fire.
Yep. And then they did all these newsprint lithograph plates of them with meat hooks. This is why this film inspired all these other big zombie horror franchises, all the ones that have nothing to do with the supernatural or any of that. It's a film more about your fellow man than humans. So, as this lovely sequence plays, it's the most upsetting part of the whole film. So, I'm gonna spoil the 80s remake version. They kind of hybrided together characters and split them apart. So Barbara in the sequel is more like badass Sarah Connor style in it. And then, vice versa, there's a secondary character that blonde and she's constantly scared, so they kind of split her into two. Tony Todd playing Ben in the new one, 80s one, instead comes out of the cellar and he is a zombie, and he does get gunned down. But the Cooper character lives, and the Barbara character guns him down because he didn't deserve to live. It's an intense ending, but not as intense as this one. George Romero, Night of the Living Dead. Ask for it by name. So, when they were filming this, like I said, they did cast the Ben character only... Boop, boop. Let me actually... there we are. They cast the Ben character instead as a black man, just not based off the script. Just they thought it would be more convincing to have that one actor who auditioned to go ahead and play that character. And he did an incredible job. And they realized after they filmed it, they're like, ooh, this has implications. Okay. This film has several different other things. So anyway, it premiered 68 in Philadelphia, and indie films back then would do like a circuit of theaters, and they would sometimes be like personally distributed by the filmmakers themselves. And George Romero had this whole thing where he said they were driving to New York to do their extra first premiere in New York years later after 68, like maybe 2-3 years later. And as soon as they got into the car and turned on the radio, the news came out that Martin Luther King Jr. had been killed. And they had this moment of like, we're about to screen this film in New York City with that tone on top of it, with that news headline. So I love horror films that have things to say about the world, even if they weren't deliberately doing it. It's awesome. So anyway, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. I need to find a much more funny and fun movie to play next time. I know this one is a super downer, especially being in quarantine, but I loved seeing your commentary in the chat room. Tell me what next film you think I should do, especially public domain film. A lot of the films of the 1960s out there are in the public domain. I've thought about maybe Carnival of Souls or Brain That Wouldn't Die, or any of those other ones that early Mystery Science Theater 3000 did. A lot of those films are in the public domain, so I could play with those here on YouTube. Also, thank you again to everybody that's a patron of mine on Patreon. All of the equipment that I'm using tonight either was donated by people, including Wayne, or bought by me because of sponsors on Patreon. So if you want to support the arts and support a artist that's currently heading towards a empty schedule, please, by all means, go down into the description. I have my link to Patreon on there. And you can subscribe, and I can give you little behind-the-scenes looks at me trying to do things like this before anyone else sees it. So, thank you again. This link will be uploaded in a few minutes after this broadcast, so you can share it with friends and show them the whole thing, and they can even watch your whole chat log in time with the film. So this is now permanently part of YouTube. Thank you guys for making it be a thing. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again sometime soon. So until next time, please let me know what films you want to see. And yeah, I hope to maybe make this a weekly thing or a bi-weekly thing or something. Hope everyone has an awesome rest of your quarantine season. Yeah, see you guys soon. Stay safe. I'm gonna go wash my hand because I coughed at it. Good night.
Trash Cinema 101.